Making focaccia can seem hard to make, but it doesn't have to be. Here I will show you how to make it easily and just as tasty. What you will need is a good quality flour. What I mean by good quality flour is not that it is imported, but that it has high protein content. Aim for anything above 10 grams of protein. Here I'm using an Italian flour, all-purpose 00 flour. Ready for some cooking maths? Get the flour away and bring the scale in. The first measurement we will take is for the salt. We will be using the whole 1 kilo bag of flour. For that we will need 10 grams of salt, which account for 1% sodium. Got to watch out for the high blood pressure. We don't want to get it too high. Keep the sodium at a reasonable 1%. The next measurement will be for the yeast. For the yeast, we will use double what we used for the salt. We will need 20 grams of yeast. The next measurement will be the water. For the water, we will need 700 grams of water. We are looking for high hydration, 70% hydration bread. With that final measurement, all the math is done. You don't need to worry about any more measurements. For mixing, you can either use an electric mixer or you can use your hand to mix. I will be using my hand to mix, and here I have a large container that will contain all the flour and mixing. You can use your kitchen table or any other suitable mixing bowl you have. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room. The measurements are not 100%. You might have noticed that I've gone a little above or under for the contents, but for baking purposes that will do and no need to worry about it. Add in your flour, the 1 kilo bag of flour, followed by the salt. For the salt, it's quite important that you spread it evenly. You don't want it to be concentrated in one spot. That could kill the yeast. Mix your yeast and water together. In this step, you don't need to add any sugar or honey to activate your yeast. The reason we're not doing that is we want it to be a slow fermenting process. We will get to that later. Mix the water and the yeast until most of the granulars are dissolved. This might take a few minutes. Be patient and leave it for a few minutes until bubbles are formed. Once you see those bubbles, the mixture is ready to be used. Make a well at the center. Pour that mixture into the flour. And start mixing. Mix and knead for about 15 minutes. Since this is a high hydration mixture, it could be sticky. I recommend having a water bowl or oily hand to handle the flour. Your dough should come together and look like this. Once all the kneading is done, it's time for the slow ferment. Cover and take it to the fridge. What we will do, we will leave this dough in the fridge overnight to ferment. This is what you should have. What you need to do here is bring the dough together and then get ready for the oven. To avoid the dough sticking to your fingers, I recommend using gloves and wetting your hand in the water, just like that. Set your temperature at 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Line your baking tray with some tin foil. Add in some olive oil. Put the dough in the baking tray. Spread it around. Make sure that it's all even. Then do the famous focaccia holes with your fingers. From here you can go in so many directions. You can add whatever your heart desires. Here we're adding olive, figs and rosemary. You can go with rosemary alone, you can go with plain. It's really up to you. For this recipe you can do green olives only or black olives only. What I did here, I added a mixture of black and green olives. Just before hitting the oven, drizzle some olive oil. Or you can do a mixture, equal parts olive oil and water. Here I added only olive oil. Bake the focaccia for about 20 to 30 minutes or until the focaccia is brown. This is the end result. All you have to do now is cut your focaccia and serve it. You can serve it plain, you can cut it into squares, lengthwise, you can even cut it into like a sandwich and add some mozzarella, arugula. Thank you for watching till the end. If you have any questions or comment, please feel free to leave them below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and sharing the videos with your sourdough making friends.